I'm Margo Miller. I'm wearing two hats this afternoon. I'm wearing the hat of the Appalachian Community Fund and also the hat of Carpetbag Theater. The mission of ACF is it's a public fund that supports and encourages social justice work with grassroots organizations in Central Appalachia. And part of that, those groups, Alternate Roots and Carpetbag both, are grantees of ACF. Carpetbag Theater's mission is, which is a theater company that's based in Knoxville, Tennessee, is to give voice. It's an African American theater company that's been there for 41 years, and its mission is to give voice to those who've been historically silenced by forms of oppression. And we use storytelling as well to gather stories, to retell them in ways to people to help give them voice. And I love the organization very much. And also the whole thing with ACF, I'm very glad to be working with an organization that's supporting that work. The partnership that I have in mind, which I didn't have one in mind before I came, is a relatively new partnership that came out of work that ACF and Carpetbag were doing together in preparation for the U.S. Social Forum. We were convening a couple of public meeting assemblies where we had some things that were presented to the meeting in Detroit. Out of those meetings, we gathered a group of different people in Knoxville, and one of the things that folks said that they wanted in Knoxville was this place, a gathering place where people could feel safe, they could be their whole selves, they could come and do their art, they could come and see art, they could come and participate in art. And this came out of that meeting. And all of us were there, and it sort of resonated. And Linda, the executive director of Carpetbag, was like, I've been talking about doing this for the last so many years. So there's a small group of us, and this is the partnership that I'm talking about. There's a small group of us that came out of that are currently working together to make that happen. So the group consists of mostly, it's all women right now, but it's still representative of the community there in Knoxville. And right now we're working on getting a space that can be programmed to be all of those things for the Knoxville community that came out of those public meeting assemblies. We're working on a grant to actually buy a building. We hit the ground running, Bobby B. We sat down and was just like, okay, what does this space look like? What does it do? What do we need? What did the group say they wanted? We've sat down and looked at all the different things as far as items that we want to have. It would be a performance space. It would be a place where artists could have studios. The upper floors would be living spaces where people could come and live in a place, a like community. Health and wellness. There would be literacy, financial literacy, as well as just regular literacy. A different type of workshops and studios, community education, green space. Roofs would be outfitted with solar. Garden, community garden. I mean, it's just, there's a lot that this space that we're looking at doing as far as programming it would provide for the community of Knoxville. So that's the partnership, and right now there's a group of us who've located a building. We're in negotiation with the owner to buy the space, because that's the other thing. We want people to have ownership. So it's not me buying a building, it's not Linda, it's not Carpetbag, but it is a community of people buying into the space. So we're looking at models, doing research right now on, is it co-housing and cooperative living, or we're doing a lot of investigation on how to make that happen, to where community members actually can own shares and can be owners of this space, not just, the person who buys one of the apartments upstairs, but where people can actually own and buy into the space. So we're looking at that and trying to identify models on how to make it work. We have stakeholders identified. We've already set up a couple of meetings with people. We've already identified money that can be used to buy the building. So we've got the synergy set up that's supporting all of this, and it feels really good.
So that what you're talking about, that's that very similar model to that space. I've been researching for the last 3 years with a group in Brooklyn about how to do a co-housing cooperative space with very similar programming that you're talking about. And we have extensive notes from like 3 years of meeting. And learning from hitting walls and
Mhm.
bouncing off of them, and it's really interesting in that market. It's an incredibly competitive, challenging market. It's the most competitive real estate market in the country. So, what we've come up against and what are some of the models that we've worked out.
I would love to look at it.
Yeah, maybe I think that might be the reason we were drawn together today, I could be a great devil's advocate for you on that. Just to fuel you with ideas and questions that you could potentially take back.
I would love it. More than anything else, one of the things that we talk about, a lot of us have political savvy, and a lot of us know, we have political connections in a way, but none of us have that ability. A lot of times with stuff in cities, with buildings, if you know one person who can stop or start a process, that's the beginning of your battle. Because we've seen people get excited about stuff, get ready to go, getting ready to put the shovel in the dirt, and then all of a sudden it's shut down because somebody says, no, we want to buy this for the city and make a school. You know what I'm saying? There's stuff like that happens all the time. So we're really a little hesitant as far as, getting too excited without having certain things in our back pockets before we go to the table
Of course.
and sell it. Because once it's done, like I said, it's bigger than Knoxville. And the whole thing of supporting that economy, I definitely think it's necessary.